Hello friends and happy day 2 of Vlogmas. It is me, Tess, aka Huffleclaw.Bookie, and today I'm going to be discussing a few quick reads and quick hacks as to catching up on your Goodreads goals. I have fallen in, if you've seen my previous video, I've fallen into a really long slump of I think I read for the first time in a long time the other week. I took my dad's car to get the oil changed and was reading a little bit of Furyborn, and I think that was the first time I'd read anything since August. I've been in just this terrible reading slump lately, and so as a result I've fallen way behind on my 30 book goal for this year. I'm sitting currently at 12 new books and 2 rereads, so technically my total for the year is 14 out of 30. So I'm actually, I think, probably 10 to 12 books behind schedule right now, so I'm definitely going to be reading quite a few of these myself, actually. And I have a few books that I have to finish as well, so I know that'll get me a little boost up once I finish them. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So these are all pretty short books. They're, I think the longest one may be 200 pages, so they're super quick. You could probably knock them out in less than, 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much time you have and how long it takes you to read these. But I really want to start with something that I know a lot of people are like, I hadn't thought of that, and neither had I until a couple of years ago. But they are the original American Girl books. These are actually a newer cover, but these are actually the Felicity books, which, if you're not familiar with American Girl, Felicity is the character from 1774, so she was around for the Revolutionary War, and their book series is really good. This is just the only one I have complete. I have a few more in my room, but any of these books will do, because I think the actual story is about 70-80 pages. This one is 62 pages, and then it gives you a little look at the past kind of thing. So this book is super short, and the print is really big. It still counts for your goal, so I don't see why it wouldn't work for you. They did change the format a few years ago. I am aware of that they changed their format to have little bind ups. I think they did 3 book bind ups, so instead of them being 3 little 60, 70, 80 page books, they're now long 200 page books or something like that. And it does make sense that way, but it still works because they're still the individual books. They didn't rewrite anything. So there's one. They also have modern day characters, and they write fictional stories about them. So this is about McKenna, a gymnast from Seattle. I actually haven't read her series, but I watched the movie a few years ago because I actually own the doll. So this book is a little bit longer. These are a little bit longer. Yeah, this is 118 pages, but still the font, there's pictures in it, and the font is fairly big compared to most books, compared to one of my James Patterson book shots. The print is a lot bigger, so you could probably knock these out in a matter of a couple of hours. So I would recommend these short American Girl books. They're not, I mean, they're age appropriate for girls that are 8, I think they say 7 to 13 or something like that, but they're still good for any age group. If you want a simple, light, fluffy, middle grade type story, then these are good for you. Another, a series I really enjoyed, I read these a couple years ago, is Leah. She is a girl that goes to Brazil and meets her friend Camila. She meets a girl there, and her series is actually pretty cute. Most of it takes place in Brazil. I don't remember where in Brazil she traveled to. So, and I think I knocked these out in about 2 to 3 hours, and I knocked the short historical ones out in about an hour, and that's how I caught up last year. These 3 were how I caught up in 2016, because they're not very thick. They're fairly thin books. But I read those 3 to catch up in 2016, and last year I read a lot of these little friend books that I haven't read before, so I read a lot of these little short books. Just look how tiny they are in comparison. like half the size. So they're really good to catch up on your goal. If you want to learn more about a specific era from a kid's perspective, that's a good idea too. So those are really fun. I grew up with those, so they're a little bit on the nostalgic side for me, especially the historical books, because I didn't even know that there was a contemporary side until about like 2006. So those are cute. I enjoy them. I enjoy like the cute fluffy little stories. So moving on, I have a few James Patterson book shots here. Don't know if you can see like the logos on them, but they have tape on them to represent the fact that I have not read them. So in here I do a little system that I use for books I haven't read. So if they have like a little piece of, like, these are just like little washi tapes that I have, glittery washi tape. So I haven't read any of them, but they're all about 120, 130 pages long. Like, they're meant to be, like, on the back the blurb says, novels you can devour in a few hours, and all original content from James Patterson, who wrote Witch and Wizard. He wrote the Alex Cross novels. He writes a lot of like thriller type books, so I figured these would be really cool to read because like they're super short and they're $5. So Walmart, like, you could probably get them like Walmart for like $4 probably, and bookstores maybe cheaper. But they're super cheap, super short, and they seem really intriguing. Like, this one sounds really good. It's about a chef. Somebody who's poisoning people in New Orleans. Like, this sounds really good. Like, these stories sound incredible, and I really need to dive into them because I need to catch up with my goal, and this one just sounds good. It's about New Orleans, and I've never been there, but I really want to go. And a third option I have, which many of you also enjoy, based on readathon videos, like a lot of readathon vlogs and announcement videos. Oh, that's in the Oxford. Is manga, which I have quite a few manga. So I have this Bleach bind up. I have 3 of these actually, these omnibuses. I have volumes 1 to 9 in this format, which is awesome. I've actually already read volumes 1 through 8 when I was in high school, so I would love to reread them again because this, like, the first few volumes of Bleach is so good, and I'm actually to the point, I think I'm actually ahead in the anime versus the manga anyway, so I'd love to get some more reading done. And I also have Naruto. Like, I have more on my shelf, but these are the ones I picked up. I have Naruto, which I have not read, but the first 3 volumes of Naruto that I got at the bookstore as well. Haven't read Naruto. I've seen a few episodes of Shippuden when it first came out, but that was it. I haven't seen much else. And I have Food Wars, which I watched a video. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but the React channel. It's like a group based in, I think, California. But they once did a video of people reacting to the food from this anime because the protagonist chef, the protagonist's dad is a chef, so there's a lot of food in here, and I figured as a chef myself, it would be really cool to kind of read a manga based around the food industry, and especially like the food industry over in Japan. Like, I know it's much different here than, you know, here in the States than it is over there. So I think it'd be a really cool idea to kind of get a little bit of insight into it. I know it's like, but look at this artwork though. This artwork's incredible. So I thought it'd be really cool to get some insight there. And the other one I have over here is Vampire Night, which I've already read this volume. I don't remember how many of them I've read, because it's been quite a while since I've read Vampire Night, but this was so good. So I'm really looking forward to rereading this one as well. And I remember really, really loving, was it Yuki and Zero? Like, Zero was my favorite in this, so super excited to read it. So anyway, I know, like, I have other short little books. Actually, I have one right here, which I meant to read at the beach a few months ago, but never did. And I have Keeping the Moon by Sarah Dessen. It's a pretty short YA contemporary, 228 pages long, so this one will get, this one will definitely get read fairly easily once I get back into it, which was pretty good for the most part. I picked it up because I thought it was a cute beach read, and I ended up like not reading. I ended up spending, like most people, I go to the beach, I bring a book with me. I don't actually spend any time reading the book. I usually am in the water or watching people play volleyball. I really don't like playing beach volleyball that much because I'm really bad at it. but I love watching like beach volleyball or going in the water or just, you know, laying in the sun. I get sunburned every time I do it, but it's always worth it because the tan afterwards makes me not look like a ghost. Those are some of the books that I have that are like some books I can recommend to you for catching up on your Goodreads goals. I hope that if you've read any of these, let me know how they are, or if you have any tips and tricks for, like, you know, reading through books a little faster, or if you have any short book recommendations. Like short books, I'm thinking less than 300 pages, unless it's a manga bind up like this one, because I think this is like 600 pages, but it's like each volume is like 200. But I hope that you guys have a great day, and like I said, if you have any recommendations for specific books, like short books that you like, I personally think of short books as anything less than 300 pages, like that, and that I can easily knock out in a day or just a few hours. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you've read any of these books that I've mentioned or any of these mangas, let me know how you like them. And if you are a manga reader, I want to know what your favorite manga is. Mine right now is Bleach. I am looking to read more manga and get more recommendations. So yeah, if you have any recommendations, let me know. And I will see you next time with more Vlogmas.